Hey guys, how's it going? Anthony Muthurajah here, back with a new video lesson for you all. In today's lesson, we're going to take a look at Jaco's solo on Port of Entry from the Night Passage record. It's an absolute monster of a solo. The speed, the lines, the rhythm, the groove behind it, and just the overall vibe of the solo is just amazing. And I think it's something every bass player should explore at some point in their shed, in the journey. So I intended to do a play along, but I was struggling to play along to the actual recording. I did do a video maybe 3 years ago where I sat down relentlessly practicing the solo when I transcribed it together with the record. And sitting down with it recently, I realized it's really fast. It's really fast. It's something you got to do a lot to get back into. Unfortunately, I don't really have the time to sit down with it enough, but I'm just going to play the solo by myself, or attempt to play it rather, and let's see what happens, and we'll take it from there. Okay, I admit that was pretty bad here and there, but like I said, it's something you need to constantly practice to have it under your fingers, ready to go. That being said, what is the actual content of the solo? It's an open solo, so there's no real harmony backing Jaco's lines, but he does tend to resolve ideas around C major, C7-ish tonality, and he relies on the related minor pentatonic, which is A minor pentatonic, to move stuff around. But he also uses certain blues figures in there, and small chunks of melodic minor ideas. Okay, for instance, the opening line, pentatonic, classic, and then he does, which is from the melodic minor. Okay, so it's interesting when you go to, and this is a G melodic minor, which implies a C7 sharp 11, right? So the overall tonality is around like there, and then he goes to this. However, it's very selective use of the melodic minor, which we'll look at in a bit. Okay, so the opening is, then nice movement there. This is like blues again. You could do da dee da da da, but this gives a sound that is dense and still has melody to it. But what he chose to do is very interesting resolution. Then from there, that's cool, and then classic pentatonic, classic Jaco. At the very end there, he uses an F to resolve to the E. Cool. And then the next phrase, back to the melodic minor idea, and very bop actually. So, but the speed, and he's picking everything, mind you. So that D on top goes pop, pop, syncopated, and then he goes into this D blues. Okay. And then very classic bop idea next. And there's a lot of these in between ghost notes he throws in there, which really makes a huge difference. Check this out. Versus that ghost note in there makes the huge difference between the solo ideas working or not working in this context. This is just a very regular D minor idea or a G Dorian idea. So and then he goes to the 6 of G minor, but using the flat 6 to really sit on it to create the tension and release. Again, the blues figure. So again, the ghost notes. Okay, and the next phrase, very classic bop. This is G minor, but using these chromatic enclosures, so that's why you have the C sharp here. That's from the melodic minor again. So even that choice of rhythm to do a triplet there instead of something more, but this, that triplet really swings it for a quick second. Okay, and then the next section, very interesting idea there. So he's going down a minor 7, D minor 7, then C minor 7, but in a broken chunk, just the 7th to the 5th, then C minor to B flat minor, again the 7-5 motion, B minor, resolve on G, and then the second time he plays a whole arpeggio. Okay, and then going down the pentatonic, but he's throwing in the F. Okay, and then classic pentatonic again, and then the 5-note grouping, classic Jaco. And he uses that F on the bottom quite a bit, just for the sake of rhythmic resolution. Okay, and before he starts the 5-note grouping from A, he plays a ghost note. So Okay, that's very hard to play, that phrase, because your fingers get curled up and you have the alternate pick to really project. If you're playing fretless, for sure you have to. On the fretted, you can get away with like, but it doesn't sound the same. Okay, and then using that same pattern, he descends down the pentatonic scale. And then the next phrase is pretty much Motown. Yeah. Okay, from here it goes. He bends there. That's the whack part about the solo. There are 2 bends, 16 note literally, and I'm wondering how he pulled it off perfectly. So think of this like an E melodic minor, and then it goes to a C dominant like a G melodic minor. Okay. Blues. Oh, sheesh. And then from the A, just down a D minor, and then it goes down to C and goes up a C minor. Then so on the fretless, this you can stretch it out because it's fretless. So he's moving so specifically because he's targeting the end phrase, which is actually very similar to that phrase earlier in the solo too. So this is like blues. Cool. So those are all the phrases kind of broken down. I'm not literally going through fingering and all that because this video will end up being 30 minutes if I do that. Now take away those pentatonic ideas. Okay? And they all groove. So all those lines, those articulations, and then even this one. So even the contour to those lines. Ah, man, there I go again. It's so hard, that phrase alone. To pick it clean, to pick it without any string noise or fret buzz, and to project is so hard. So take all these ideas, even if you take just this phrase, work that out because it's going across all the strings. You got to alternate pick everything. Those ghost notes in there that are thrown. It's like, it's a solo if you isolate the bass track alone, Jaco's bass track, not what I just did earlier. It grooves by itself. The melodies sing, the notes sing, the groove is just phenomenal. So it's like, it's a masterclass really. So I'm going to leave you with that. I've put a link in the description below of a play along I did a while back on the solo. So check that out if it interests you. And I'll see you guys in the shed until the next one. Peace.